Start with our next toss. We got a wonderful broke-ass bitch up here. This is Duncan Manuts.
Alright. Thanks for coming out to the official GrrCON troll. Just the fact that you guys are in the room, I fucking win. But as if that wasn't enough, I won GrrCON. That's right. It's my trophy. It's in the bag. You know which bag. Alright. By a show of hands, how many people in this room are Pentesters? Come on. Put them up. I knew you'd be out. Alright. By a show of hands, how many people in this room want to be Pentesters? Yeah, we're gonna do that again at the end of the talk. We'll see how this goes. Alright, so dear Pentesters, get bent. It says bent. Somebody asked me, is bent a new tool that you're dropping? No, but they told me I couldn't put fucked in the conference brochure, so it's bent. You get bent. Alright, so who the fuck am I? I'm Duncan Manuts, exchange student from Deutschland. You can Google that shit if you're not already a Christian Slater fan. We'll figure that out. Alright, but the rest of the bullet points, this is for real. I was a professional pen tester from 2001 to 2005. I'm now a pen testing customer. Why? We'll get to that maybe. Maybe not, I don't have to answer that. And this is normally the part where the presenter gets up here and drops all his, like, I'm a CIA, SSP, look at all the sand shit I've done. Look at my top secret security clearance. I thought I'd drop some real on you, some actual cred. So you can find some of my shit in Frac 50. From 93 to 97, I was auto ops, pound hack, that's right. I had root, I was one of like 200 people, by the way, who had root on the well back in November 94. If you don't know why that's important, Google that shit. That's right. No, seriously, man. Fucking John Markov's a dirty liar. All right. Now I have a real job, but I'm not lead. I don't drop O-Day. So that's kind of that. All right, so that's who am I? Why the fuck am I doing this talk? Well, I'm doing it for the kids. It's the best reason to do anything. All right, sorry to call those of you in the room kids who want to grow up and be pen testers, right? Whether you're young or old, we all have to admit pen testing is the sexiest side of this, but it's a real business, it's a real job, and you all kind of need to know that. I'm doing it for the customers. At the end of the day, lots of people in this room, if you're not a pen tester, you probably buy something from a pen tester. What are you getting for that? Well, let's dig into that, shall we? And then, of course, for the industry. Now, look, this is actually serious. This is what I want to do for a living. I wanted to do this since I was in high school. I wanted to do this. Get up here on stage and swear at a bunch of people who don't know why they're here. No, no, really, I want to do InfoSec, for real. Like, this is what I want to fucking do. So I'm up here trying to make a point. How are we doing? This industry is almost 20 years old. Data breaches down? Struggling for relevance in the media, anybody? Anybody trying to relate what it is that's going on in your neck of the woods with what's going on in the larger world? No, right, yeah, so how the fuck is that working out for you? I'm serious, right? InfoSec turned 20, and what do we have to show for it? We're center stage and it ain't good news, right? So at the end of the day, I'd like to still be doing this in another 20 years. But the people that are paying us to do this today, the people that are giving us their money, they're going to expect a return. At some point, they're going to want to know what you did with the money you gave them, and if things haven't gotten better and continue to get worse, well, there's a 300-year-old industry that waits in the wings to take over what it is that we do for the business, and they're called insurance. And I'm not joking. Like, at the end of the day, if we can't make shit better, then they're just going to go gamble on the free market and get their fucking money back. Why wouldn't they? It's already started, right? Data breach insurance is a real thing you can buy today. So, all in for the lulz, right? Let's be honest. Why am I up here? I'm wearing a fucking beard. Come on! I'll keep yelling. There we go. Okay. I'll go hoarse for this shit. I will. I really will. All right. So I'm going to stop ranting and tell me something new. Tell you something useful. Last night, Mike Kemp was sitting front row trying to throw shit at me besides dirty looks. Told me that he was going to come and argue with me and heckle me during this talk. And I hope he does, and I hope the rest of you that disagree with me do. Because at the end of the day, if we don't at least start the discussion, this goes nowhere, and the rest of you who suck continue to get paid. So, I'm going nuclear in 3, 2, 1. There you go. Pen testing has no ROI. Does anybody in this room know what happened in October of 2008? I know the Pentesters do, because you all fucking bought Mercedes, right? 2008 was the deadline if you were a level 1 or level 2 to get your fucking pen test done for PCI compliance, right? My mic? Oh, okay, good. All right, well, so does anybody else know? Right? There you go, $4 billion in losses in online commerce. 2008. Are you still messing with my levels? Or am I off? I'm on? Okay. Okay, so there you go, right? The worst year we've had is the year that everybody had to get a pen test, right? And so I know the rest of the QSAs in the room are going, oh, wait, but look at the downtrend on the backhand side of that. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But I got this graph out of CyberSource, and this same article that they ran in early this year that compiled all the data from 2010 back to 2000 on online loss for online retailers as a result of credit card fraud from stolen credit cards, said that the real reason is that most online retailers have begun implementing anti-fraud checks at checkout. So they're catching stolen credit cards coming through the system on the retailer side. They're not preventing theft, right? Credit card numbers aren't getting stolen any less often than they were before. Shit, there's so many out there, people have stopped stealing them. The real reason that the number of credit card thefts have gone down is there's too many. Nobody's bought them all yet. Okay, so I know lots of people will tell you security ROI is unprovable. Well, no, it's unpredictable, but it's totally provable. Maybe over a single project at a single company, it's not provable. But I think this is fucking provable, right? The 1 year everybody was supposed to go out and get a pen test, they did, and it was still the worst year for credit card fraud losses in the history of the industry. All right. So, yeah, that's right. How'd you like to be replaced by a piece of software, pen tester? Okay, so let's be honest, pen testing versus vulnerability scanning. Scanners are cheaper, they are. Scanners are more thorough, they are. They're dumb, I'll give you that. Right, a pen tester might find something, or might tweak something, or might do something custom that your scanner's not gonna do, but commodity to commodity, I'll take my scanner up against your pen tester every day of the week. Also, yeah, most pen testers use scanners. They'll lie and tell you they don't. They will. Lots of them will swear up and down, especially the guys you catch presenting at DEF CON. No, we don't use scanners. Yeah, you use scanners. You do manual testing, but you use scanners. Anybody remember AtStake before Symantec bought them out and just blew them the fuck up? Remember them, like the Loft guys? You know, the guy that's in charge at DARPA now, right? DARPA cybersecurity money, like how many hundreds of millions of dollars is that guy in charge of now? Yeah, his company used to run Nessus. I swear to God, I could prove it. I have the fucking Apache logs. Oh, oops, right, Nessus actually puts itself in the user agent string when you scan my web server with it, jackass. And that's my point. Right, so if the best of the best, the baddest of the baddest are using Nessus, what's everybody else using? Something. Some people will tell you straight up they do, others won't, but they all use them. At the very least, every pen tester in here uses them now. Don't you dare lie. All right, the O-Day is a lie. Now this is kind of an old thing. This goes back about 10 years into the industry of pen testing. The pen testers would show up and tell you, we find O-Days. We'll find the stuff that Nessus can't find for you because Nessus only knows about stuff that it knows about, and it doesn't know about stuff it doesn't know about. But we have guys that will find buffer overflows, write exploits, and give them to you. That might have been true in 2000. It might have even been true in 2005. What's happened to the exploit market lately? Anybody? Anybody? Yeah, right. Exactly. No, you're not getting fucking O-Day. You pwn my IIS server running 2008 R2 64-bit. You think I'm getting that O-Day? You think I'm going to be the one reporting that back to Microsoft as the customer of that pen test? That remote is worth at least $1 million. I paid you $50K. On what planet are you going to turn that over to me as the customer? There's no way in hell. And even if the company were to sign an agreement saying they would do it, the actual pen tester will never do it. It's just a simple law of economics. That's never happening again. So the only O-Day you're getting is in your own stuff. The pen tester tells you you can have O-Day. They'll get you O-Day. They mean in your crappy web app that you wrote yourself. I'll give you an example. We had what I consider to be some of the more talented pen testers in the country take a run at our firewall a couple years ago. I mean, it was a bunch of stuff, but they came back and they're like, yeah, you guys don't have shit open. I know, but I need a report that says that. They're like, well, we've got a bunch of hours left and we're bored. Do you care if I fuzz your firewall? Well, maybe, but as it turns out, I have some HA shit, so you can pick the cluster that's not primary. You can pick the secondary. So like we'd have to fail over and fail over again before you get to this thing, and then I'll watch it and see if you knock it over, and they fuzzed it over the internet. And nothing came of it, but the thing that occurred to me about it, well, about 6 months later, and I'm not thinking that they actually found anything, but if they did, they found remote code execution in Checkpoint VPN 1. Right. You think they were giving that to me? Hell no. Right? You know, governments would kill for that exploit. I mean literally. I don't mean like, oh, I would so kill that. No, I mean like bullet in your fucking head, thank you for the code. Kill for that. So no, you're not getting OD out of your pen testers. It's a lie. It's just it's leftover marketing shit that they continue to hype. Are they capable of finding OD? Maybe, but you'll never know. Social engineering is bullshit. Let's just call it for what it is. The other name for social engineering is trying to con people into giving you access to something that they can't otherwise hack themselves. Right? So social is a straw man test. Why is it a straw man test? Because what are people doing when they're at work? What's your help desk guy's job? Anybody, shout it out. What does the help desk do? That's right, they fucking help people. So when I call and I'm locked out, what are they supposed to do? Fucking help me. That guy's paid to reset my password. Ooh, you beat the guy that was paid to do the thing you called him and asked him to do. Congratulations. So let me help you out. Let me save you the 5 to 10 grand upcharge that the next pen tester you talk to is going to want to give you for a social engineering engagement. It works. You're welcome. Somebody in your company is going to give up something that you wouldn't otherwise want them to give up. There's one valid use case for social engineering, and it looks like this. We have a specific set of authentication protocols for when you call up our call center and claim to be somebody. Call and see if you can work around them. That's it. That's the one. Anything else, right, is just information gathering or convincing people to do things that they are already incented to do. That's not an actual security test. Bullshit. Oh, you're calling bullshit on my bullshit. All right, I'd love to hear it. Drop it.
Biggest value of social engineering is the training that people get. Right, user awareness.
Oh, user awareness training. Okay, wait. So I'm hearing the training people get. You mean Paul? I don't have slaves. You're Paul. I just want to be clear. I don't want anything to do with your addiction, sir. All right. No, back to your point. That might have been meant for you. I still don't. I'm open to hearing the rest of your point, but I'm not sure I got it. I said I'm not sure I got your point.
Have you ever been in social engineering?
Probably. I mean.
Somebody face to you and explain exactly how they did it.
Yeah. Okay.
What was your thought pattern for the next 6 months?
Oh, I didn't want to leave my house because you people creep me the fuck out. So the question was, what did you think after you got social and somebody explained it to you? Yeah, I was horrified and terrified. But so I get it. I will forever be able to take just about anything I can do in security and scare the crap out of somebody. But can I turn it into something that's useful and enforceable?
Not enforceable.
Okay.
There's a difference between value and certification. What the fuck?
There's a difference between value and certification. I couldn't agree more. CISSP. Okay. So anyway, I maintain, right, that the main reason that pen testers like to include social is because it always works, right? It works a hell of a lot better than any tiny number of OD that they're still sitting on that they aren't holding, right? And if you're patching every month, you're probably beating them to the punch if you change your default passwords, right? But this always fucking works. So whiny asshats who hate to lose, that might be a theme. insider threat is bullshit. Right, the other name for insider threat is pen testing by bypassing all of your security controls, then testing your security. You've heard this, you've seen this. There's probably somebody in this room that's got one of these going right now. What'd you do? Well, we dropped a box on the inside of the network right there at the data center, and now we're scanning. What you got in my data center is, are you going to scan? You're the worst attacker ever! So again, whiny asshats who hate to lose. I mean, I'm sorry. Right, at the end of the day, right, if you want to know what's wrong with the stuff in your data center, you should scan it yourself. Okay, tools. This is the rule of tools. Lots of pen testers will sell you on the theory that we have access to. We have written custom stuff. We've got stuff you can't get. They're lying. And the reason that they're lying is because anything that they have that you can't either get for free because it's tied to some open source thing that they've already done, or they published it at a conference to get you to take their fucking webinar for the sales gig in the first place, they already sell commercially. Or it sucks and they don't want to publish it. And there's a lot of that. So when a pen tester tells you, we've got lots of tools, we've got lots of custom in-house stuff that we use that isn't available in the general market. Yeah, it's not available in the general market because they'd be humiliated to present it at a real conference. That's the rule of tools. Uh-oh, it's Pen Test John. It must be time for the Hall of Shame. So how many of you out there are on the, come on, raise your hand, you're on the security-focused pen test mailing list? I see some hands, you're on the mailing list. Boy, I hope you're not anybody I'm about to name drop. I gotta get to my notes, I didn't memorize all these losers. Alright. Hall of Shame number 1, these are verbatim. Yeah, you can see the triple, thank you, this guy's a speed reader. All right, that triple dot is my single edit. I have made nothing up here. I have created no falsehoods. This is a real post. If you slap the first sentence in Google, you will find this. It's really out there. I've recently encountered an HPUX box in a penetration test. I would greatly appreciate it if you could give me directions to look at. Exploits don't work for HPUX as they do for normal Linuxes, Unixes. This is because HPUX, as far as I know, mainly works on SPARC CPUs, thus having big endian instructions, which is different from standard x86. Or am I wrong? I think we can agree. That's right. The Linux shellcode that you're trying to drop from Metasploit onto this HPUX box is not going to work in that way, and in that sole infinitesimal way is this man right. This man, by the way, is Philip Lockberger from Site Access Data Business. Just because he used his real name and his real company. I mean, he did everything but drop his client, right? Which, by the way, what do you think? If we spent 20 minutes on LinkedIn, could we find him? Yes, we could. What's that? HPUX on SPARC? Yeah. Well, and yeah, the whole big endian thing, Linuxes, Unixes. Oh, by the way, I'm already being paid to do a pen test, and I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and post this shit to the internet. Right? I mean, let's start with the number 1 way in which this clown is wrong. Right? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So the next time you're shopping for pen testers, you might want to do a little name googling on this the mailing list archive contest. All right. Here's another one. This one verbatim, no evidence. I have a quick question for you. I'm preparing to perform a pen test for a HIPAA compliance requirement. The client has asked if there is a way for me to compare the findings against the HIPAA industry average. The client is compared to other healthcare providers and is either better or worse than the average in the industry. Is there such a thing? Okay, where to start? I mean, we don't even have HIPAA spelled right up here. And he did it twice. He did it twice. It's with 2 A's for the rest of the pen testers in the room. Remember that. 2 A's, 1 P. You can all say that shit, but I'd be happy to take you back to my laptop after this and show you the white paper, the logoed up white paper from Qualys that has HIPAA. Yeah. So, yep, that's what I mean. written by their healthcare security experts. True story. All right, so this is our friend Christopher Jaros at International Network Services. Right, and yeah, I mean, if you're at all familiar with HIPAA regs and how this works, I mean, HIPAA doesn't actually even require a fucking pen test. It doesn't. I mean, you might make that one of your controls and say that that's part of how you get certainty that you have security around your systems, but there is no such thing as a HIPAA pen test. For all the pen testers in the room that are currently selling them, there is no such thing. No such thing. Okay. I was going to do an accent for this, but I'm not going to. But clearly, when this guy is typing, there's an accent. I will be evaluating two-factor authentication scheme in the next coming days. Is there anyone who can point me to some good resources on this? White papers, documents, anything. You getting the theme here? This is all shit that's already been sold and is being worked on by people who have no idea what the fuck they're doing. But somebody's getting paid for this, and somebody is paying for this, and at the end of the day, there's going to be a report that's going to be written by somebody who will have copied and pasted from fucking white papers that he got from asking about it on a mailing list on the internet. And this dude is MD Mufem Misi, Ernst & Young. Yeah, okay. It already did on somebody's fucking bottom line. Somebody paid for that. And what did they get? What did they get? Right, E&Y, so at least 100K. Yeah, they got soaked. Soaked wet. Well, hopefully they took him out to dinner first. Well, don't you sales guys do that? Take you out to dinner? I mean, that's no? But did you think I meant something else? Okay, so here's the thing about Security Focus mailing lists. They're administered by volunteers. The person who administers the pen test mailing list is a person named Aaron Carroll who works at IOActive. You guys know IOActive, Dan Kaminsky, Black Hat, Crazy Parties, DNSSEC, right? So Aaron Carroll is Amoeba, is a pen tester for IOActive, also runs the pen test mailing list. And this is Amoeba's website. Nice shot. So here's the thing about Amoeba's website. I grabbed this back in April. I checked this morning. It still fucking looks like this. So can you read this? Can you guys read this? Like these IP addresses. Who's actually on the wireless and not getting DOS? You want to who is this shit? Or just read the domain down here. So this is FireEye. Who knows what FireEye does? FireEye, anybody know who FireEye is? What they do? Okay, Rocky, yeah. So what does FireEye do? Sorry. Wow, I just got busted. All right, thanks, dick. His name's Richard. All right, so anyway, so this is amoebazone.com. This is Aaron Carroll's personal website. And what you will find is that Aaron has scraped all of FireEye.com's SSL web portals and put up logging pages, presumably as part of a phishing experiment for a pen test that IOActive is doing for FireEye. I mean, if there was such a thing. Or perhaps this is just personal. You never know, right? I mean, I didn't wear this hat in this morning, right? I'm sure Aaron can take his white hat off. So, right, there you go, right? There's the actual code for the page. So, I mean, and essentially what it looks like I found is just sitting out there open on the internet on some shitty web hosting company is this guy's personal site that he was using to do a pen test against a major security software vendor. So even the elite are not immune from doing dumb shit in public. All right. Pentest John again. It must mean it's time for another game. 200-page report, findings add value. Oh no, where have I heard that before? It must be time for auditor or pen tester. That's right, everybody's got an internal auditor or an external third-party auditor. We already got boos and hisses on E&Y for their pen testing work. So I'm going to share with you some real findings from real reports that were really paid for in real American dollars. And I want you to tell me which ones were pen tester and which ones were auditor. Okay, we found SSH running on the default port. Is this an auditor or a pen tester?
Auditor.
Reverse engineer.
Yeah.
You win, but you're still wrong. No, you can't have the trophy. I won the trophy. I won all of GrrCON. Security? Oh, I've just been DOSed. That's dicked over on stage. SSH running on a default port. Of course, that's a Pentesters finding. Found Oracle running on default port. Yes, that's correct. This is an auditor. You may have heard the name before in this talk. Found .rhosts file on server. Server not running RSH or rlogin. Oh, you're wrong. It's an auditor. Even you can't tell. That's my point. Router responds to ICMP timestamp requests. Everybody at once. Pentester. That's right. This shit is still in Nessus and Qualys. Thank you very much. You know, because when it comes to pen testing, it might be really valuable if I could figure out what time zone your internet router is in. Because then I could leverage that in my social engineering attack and know what time to call your help desk. Or I could just fucking call and listen to the message when they tell me when they open. Yeah, that was a real argument. I actually had that argument on a fucking conference call with At Stake. It was, well, right there on Nessus. And yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's information you don't need to give up. I get that information up on my website. People know when we're open. I guess that means the bad guys will know, but I'm okay with that. I think I have to be okay with that. You know what? No, he was right. So we changed it. Now all of our business hours are completely randomized. That's right. Okay. All right. Oh, I see the Pentesters starting to slink down in their chair. So the whole reason, the whole impetus, the inspiration for this talk was I went to ThoughtCon, and I don't want to bash on ThoughtCon because ThoughtCon's fucking sweet. Those of you that are local, it's in April. It'll be at the end of April this year. It's in Chicago. It's a one-day conference, small, single track. It's in a bar, and they start serving at 8. It's fucking brilliant. GrrCON, take notice. they serve at 8. All right. Oh, I did. I brought my own. You're absolutely right. So anyway, so ThoughtCon's rad, but this year there was a talk given by Rob Havel and Video Man. You guys know Video Man. He's one of the network dudes from DEF CON. And they gave a talk in which they like fucking whine about being pen tester. And it's just like, you guys have a job where you play in a fucking virtual treehouse for a living, right? I mean, you get to play hacker, right? I mean, it's from, you know, from the third slide, right, or the second slide behind the intro slide, you know, right? Oh, I could be a white hat and not go to jail, but still hack all day, right? I mean, that's your job. And they're whining about the business side of it. They're talking about like tools and competitors that aren't as good as them, and then they were bitching about scoping. Okay, so let's talk about scoping for a minute. Right, so when we're talking about pen testing, this is the business side of this talk. Scoping isn't really about scope, is it? It's about money, right? So yeah, you don't get a fucking blank check before you do dime number 1 worth of work or give me word 1 out of your report to just go do whatever it is you want to do until you're done doing it. Oh, but real attackers don't have scope. Real attackers don't send me a fucking bill either. I don't care how long it takes them. So understand, right? Scoping is actually, this is the most important part of the assessment. It absolutely is. Scoping is defining the work that's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how it should happen. And it needs to involve a statement of goals. So the next time you're shopping, right? So by the way, who's bought a time and materials pen test? Yeah, I know. That guy fucking lost his job. And there's a reason for that. There's an absolute reason for that. All right. So there's 3 types of legitimate goals that you can set when you're going after a pen test and setting up your scope, right? One is identifying blended threat attacks. Scanners can't do this today. So this is the like, oh, we found SQL injection into a read-only database, but by the way, there was also a buffer overflow in the database itself, so we popped the OS and we kept going and going and going. I grant you, only a manual tester will give that to you today. Right? The SQL injection can be found by a scanner. The next three things that make the SQL injection into the who gives a shit brochureware site that turns it into a real compromise, you'll only ever get that today from a manual tester. So that's worth paying for. Identifying vulnerabilities in custom applications. And I'm not talking about web apps. I mean, I kind of am, but I'm not just talking about web apps, right? I mean, if you write stuff that you're going to have to expose to partners and things like that, right? SQL injection is not just for the PHP crowd. That shit works in C++ apps and VB apps and ASP.NET apps. Why? Because coders make mistakes. Well, no, they suck, right? They don't sanitize it. You didn't say to test inputs, you just inputs had to work. Who the hell types 500 A's? Those are high-bit characters. They'll never come through. And developers think like that because we teach them to in college. Okay. And then finally, a red team test. If you've got live, like an actual incident response team, if you've got intrusion analysts, if you've got guys whose job it is to mine the wire because you're looking for real threats, a red team test is a good way to actually get a sense of what they get and what they don't get. And if you don't use an intelligent attacker, which is not all pen testers, but a reason nonetheless to pay for a pen test, then you're not going to get anything out of it, right? I mean, Nessus versus your intrusion analyst, if they can't find Nessus, fire them all now. All of them. Okay. But at the same time, right, why is scope such a hard piece of the puzzle, right? Because this is where customers get pwned for real. If you don't advocate for yourself, if you don't work out specific deterministic goals and the work that's going to be done to accomplish those goals, you're going to get fucked. You're going to get pwned. And remember, you're dealing with whiny asshats who hate to lose. Okay, so how to shop for pen testers? Well, get bios. Pick actual testers. Know who's going to actually test your shit before they start. Can I get an amen from the people that claim to be real fucking pen testers in the room, please? Like at the end of the day, like I'm sorry if it's the it's Joe or Jack or one of these 20 guys on the list will be doing it. I don't want one of the 20 guys on the list. I want to know who's doing it because at the end of the day, Joe, Jack, or your intern. Right? They're not the same. I'm getting something different from what I'm paying for, so I want fucking bios. Give me your resumes. Never use Big Four auditors as pen testers. Do I need to explain that any further? Is there anybody in here who wants to define? No, man. I tell you, man. Deloitte did this awesome pen test for us, man. You wouldn't believe they dropped so much ODay they made it rain. You've never fucking heard that, and you never will. I'll tell you about the last pen test that I saw get performed by a Big Four auditor. It was a $200,000 engagement. $200,000. The scope was this city. Not the actual city government of Grand Rapids, but this city. That was the geographic scope. And it involved first-year CPA with no computer science courses. I met her. She was nice. Walking around with Kismet. And we got back for $200,000 an Excel spreadsheet showing us all of the web APs that she picked up at the commercial park across the road. That's what you get when you hire a Big Four company. I'm going to say don't use VAR integrator shops either. The reason that I'm going to say that is that at the end of the day, their best customers already have their best people. So you're either their best customer, in which case maybe you already know enough about the pen tester. I mean, you know, I won't say that there's no integrators that have a decent pen tester or two on team, but this is where the quality drops right off. They keep like 2 badasses on team if they're big. They keep 2 badasses on team and then a bunch of guys that want to learn this shit that are CCNAs. And I'm not knocking being a CCNA. Man, hey, somebody needs to get up in the middle of the night and fucking reboot my router. But no, seriously, I mean, at the end of the day, though, right? I mean, are you pwning my iOS? Like, no, you're not. So what good is it that you're a CCNA and now you want to learn InfoSec? So I would, in general, stay away from them. If you put something out to bid, just throw their bids away. If you don't, straight up. Get hourly rates and time estimates for each task, and get that written in the statement of work. Do not pay for a lump sum. If they show up with a lump sum proposal, that's a roofie, and you're going to get raped. Point blank. You need to know what they're doing and how much it costs you, because at the end of the day, you may go back and you remember that scoping talk, it may have to change. At the end of the day, you may decide that the scope that you pick doesn't actually meet the goal that you want. You want to know how much it's actually going to cost you. Some pen testers, but very few, will go ahead and just go, you know what, it's our bad for failing in scope, and we'll just eat the work. Very few. They're too busy. They don't have to do it. And they gotta eat. At the end of the day, they gotta eat and fly to conferences and write crappy Perl code and tell you that it's custom. They got all sorts of stuff they gotta do that they're not getting paid for, so they gotta make their money. So, but in all honesty, right, some level of accountability. Know your pen testers before you hire them, before you pay them time one. Don't just go, oh yeah, I heard you did good, right? Customer reference calls go like this, don't they? Oh yeah, we hired them, it was great. They were done in 3 days. We got this beautiful report. All the executives loved it, and we haven't had a data breach. 6 months go by. Yeah, we got fucking Paul, man. And by the way, like, if you got a pen test done in 3 days, this is the same team that doesn't actually have a SOC. They don't have analysts. They don't know that they've been pwned. They don't know that their data's gone until they get a call from the press. So when they tell you they haven't had a data breach, that's what they know. All right, so that's the end of my troll. Bye, guys.